Hello, everyone. I'm Chanyaporn Bstieler. I'm from Immerse Lighting Design, Bangkok, Thailand. It's my pleasure today to share with you on the topic of cultural aspects of lighting design. These experiences are from projects that we're doing at Immerse Lighting and also from my lighting design research at the university here. So let's start with the first aspect. So these are visual environment and also abstract ideas from cultural values and beliefs, symbolic meanings of the visual environment that we have to deal with as a lighting designer. I think a better understanding of culture would give us a guidance into providing a more culturally responsive, culturally appropriate, and more meaningful lit environment for our users in different culture. So these are from urban fabric, for like urban lighting scale, architectural design for traditional style, shape, and forms, and use of local materials, texture, and color. And also local trees and landscape are also important. The second aspect is how people from different culture might respond to our lighting design differently. So this example is, from our online survey, online study we did last year with respondents, 350 respondents from Thailand and from Hong Kong and Taiwan. We were investigating the preference of light distributions if they go to a hotel guest room as a family or as a couple. So these are the overall result. So the top one is, for the family guests, and the bottom one is, if they go as a couple. So this example of the most preferred light distributions as a family. This one is from our renovation of guest room at the Mandarin Oriental in Bangkok. I'd like to bring your attention to these potential cultural differences for guest room for a couple. So most of the Thai respondents, so they prefer this cove light at the center, whereas respondents from Taiwan and Hong Kong, they seem to prefer this at the perimeter, lighting at the perimeter, especially at the lower part of the room. This insight, we're very interested in investigating it further and verify it with a larger group of respondents because we're doing a lot of hotels in this region. So it's for us, to set up nighttime scene, different scenes, lighting scenes for different time. For hotel operators, I think, to utilize LED technologies and lighting control technologies to provide a better personalized ambience and lighting scenes for their guests, from their guests would come from different locations. Right, so now let's turn back to the first aspect and expand on that a little bit. To give you an introduction, according to Thai scholar, Thai cultures originated from water. So you can see that it's reflected in the city plannings, a lot of water networks, traditional vernacular architecture, the way people live in the past, and also on the right-hand side is the use of small, colorful mirror mosaics in front of the temples. So you see that in the temples or palaces. So personally, I like to explore the relationship between different forms of waters and different characteristics of light. For example, like sparkles, the ripples of waters reflected on different surfaces. And you might see these lighting techniques and design elements in the projects that I'm showing you later on here. The first project is urban lighting design research. It's in Bangkok Old Town. This project supported by the government. And we're trying to establish a local nighttime identity. And we're looking at the characteristics of the urban setting, and we find that it's characterized by a network of the river and canals, which at the moment is lack of, that information at nighttime. So this is the current situation. lack of visual hierarchy, there's no coherence. So, apart from highlighting the intersection between the rivers and canals, we also looking at the original ideas of city planning. So we find that many main cities in Southeast Asia, not only Thailand, use this concept of city planning. Tripum is 3 words. It helps us to establish visual hierarchy, but that's not enough because it's not distinctive to Thailand. So we find other layers to give a little bit more unique characters to our lighting proposals. So we find that moon phase has a close link to many of our religious and cultural events. So we tried, that lighting techniques and use the characters of soft, indirect moonlight. Like on the left-hand side, this is from Light and Water International Lighting Workshop some years ago, right? So here is a current condition of the Grand Palace, which is supposed to be the most important, in terms of the visual hierarchy, but you see the white shading are very bright in the background, which is it should be corrected to give a more appropriate visual hierarchy. We also had chances to try out different lighting techniques and the use of different design elements, water ripples, projections of flower graphics. So that's try to help with wayfinding for urban lighting. So the flower graphic is quite well received. This is a path leading to a flower market. It's very popular in this part of old Bangkok. Yeah, so it gives us some meaningful lighting techniques and the use of also color here. This very old bridge is regarded as like a gateway into the old Bangkok. So we use the name of the Bangkok city, the name in Thai name. It means precious gemstones. So that gives us a set of more meaningful color palette to use for everyday lighting and special occasions lighting. The moon phase we will integrate that into some of the dynamic lighting for special event as well. So here is about celebrating cultural diversity, right? So this is along a canal. The city has a plan to improve the water quality and also the landscape, improving the quality of public lighting along this canal. So we propose to highlight this Chinese shrine. So in the old Bangkok, the communities are often a mixture of different people from different cultural backgrounds and also religions. Right here. So this is an ongoing project waiting for getting contractor. It's called Green Bridge. It will be a new green landmark in the central CBD, in the heart of CBD in Bangkok, linking two major parks. For us here, we are fortunate to work with a group of volunteers, urban planner, UDDC, and other architects and landscape architects. There are 2 teams working on here. This elevated and underused path will be redesigned as you see here would be a nice green space. So we provide lighting for these all communities who lives around here. There are Christian and Muslim communities, also Buddhist communities here. So this project for us is we're not only responding to like traditional culture, and so here we think of the role lighting designer has a role in this active process of creating new culture. So we think that we can be a part of this, the creation of new culture for a more sustainable, greener Bangkok. This area is going to wetland area and ecological park, right? So culture is learned. So we are hoping this our involvement in this project will contribute to that new culture of Bangkok. The next element I mentioned was local trees, which normally we respond to distinctive form, texture, and color of the leaves. we in Thailand is tropical country, so it is the leaves don't change color. So we just play with different color temperature and texture of different local trees. Like here is bamboo in urban resort is Park Hyatt. We often try with a little bit warmer color temperature, and also in terms of lighting techniques, we combine with uplight and a bit of moonlighting effects to create soft shadows on the floor. So we find that in many cases, it's quite pleasant, to have that kind of soft shadows. It gives a feeling as if like you have some kind of shadings above. These tropical plants, palm trees, coconut trees. This is resort. The previous one was in Park Hyatt in Ho Chi Minh City. But here's a different context. So we use different lighting techniques for this coconut tree. We use a lot of decorative lighting when we do resorts. And on the right-hand side here is temple trees. So this is where language has some influence. In Thai, the name of this tree doesn't have a good meaning. It means kind of sorrow. So it's not popular for residential projects. But in a resort, in a temple or a public space, it's nice to highlight these sculptural forms of the trunks, that has very nice line. This is the last tree, so we just did a mock-up. It's the last rain tree in the resort. So we play with reflections, we combine, we uplight to highlight these very large canopies of the trees, and in combination with moonlighting effects, so we shine down to create a very soft shadows. Now let's turn to hospitality lighting projects. This one is a Park Hyatt, where the design concept by interior design by Yabu Pushiberg, and it's contemporary Thai concept, right? And interior designers use lotus flower to symbolize purity. So the concept is to provide pure experience, relaxing experience. So we highlight these lotus patterns that has been applied in different parts of the hotel. We use different lighting techniques. Here is in the grandstand, and right-hand side is in the spa area. And here is the use of traditional materials, Thai silk, which is different texture than Chinese or Japanese silk. It has very nice hand painted in the graphic is Bodhi tree. So Bodhi tree is very important in Buddhism. So here is the use of Thai silk and these symbolic trees as graphic patterns. Let me finish with this daylighting design projects. So we just finished this last year. So this is a very special project for us because we've been invited to join this team as a daylighting consultant for this meditation center. This is praying hall, a hall with a statue of our past king. So he's been highly respected figure for most Thai people. And the architect has the idea to highlight his statue at on his birthday, 5th of December, at particular time at 10:39. So in Thai is 9.99. So 9 has is an auspicious number. So for us, so we trying to bring this in as indirect light, but we have to keep the directional quality of the light because we would like to enhance these three-dimensional qualities. So it's like you're providing accent lighting, but using daylight, like indirectly, because we design the daylighting to reflect on the mirror. So here is exactly at that time, 10:39 on 5th of December. So this is, so everyone's quite pleased that, it's go according to plan. So it was quite challenging project for us, but it's finished quite nicely. And there's an unexpected moment that reflected light also reflected into the, that he was holding a monk bowl and inside was coated in gold. So at that moment, that direct, the light from the mirror shine on inside the bowl and reflected, this soft golden light up to the shin to up to his face. So it was quite emotional moment for all of us being waiting to see that moment. And with that, I would like to end my talk. I would like to thank the organizer of Women in Lighting event for inviting me to join this inspiring event. I hope that you enjoyed the talk, and I hope that you find that useful in some way. Looking forward to have maybe a conversation with some of you later on. Thank you.